Everybody, it seems little Donny boy over the weekend, the gold-plated man, was very upset because the news out of Iran was actually being reported that it's not going well, and the Straits of Hormuz are actually still blocked, and the oil price is still going up. And by golly, this just goes against his fantasy, because remember, Donald Trump, as a malignant narcissist and the sociopath, lives entirely in fantasy land. And in less than 2 minutes, I'm going to make you a Trump whisperer on why he reacts this way and essentially calls for people to be done for treason. And if you truly want to understand exactly what's going on, hey, get electronic version of the book. It was a bestseller in its category in trans pathology for less than the price of a cup of coffee. Anyway, here's the whole entire thing, and you can see, well, it went on for ages and ages. I'm 99% sure he never actually typed it himself, because his gold-plated thumbs would have fallen off. So I'm sure he dictated it or something along those lines. But you probably want to understand, why does he act this way? Well, I'll show you. So when Donald Trump is confronted with something that doesn't actually match what he believes in his fantasy land, he suffers cognitive dissonance. He can also suffer a narcissistic injury, which I'll get to in just a second. So you can see here, he followed this to the letter, rejects the premise entirely, creates a new truth. In other words, hey, I'm wrong, I'm right, you're wrong. Well, now he gets into conspiracy-style justifications. In other words, well, you're doing it because you hate me, and of course attacks the media. Well, he did that entirely in this case. That's what it was built on. He can also suffer a narcissistic injury. In other words, when someone actually criticizes him, or finds out that actually something is being said he doesn't like. So he gets to name calling. You saw that. Calls them weak and stupid. You saw that. Essentially says, listen, I'm in control. Everything is going on to the plan. And guess what? I will make sure that you get executed and put in after you've been taken from the tower. By the way, I'm surprised no one suggested to him so far that while he's building the ballroom at the White House, he doesn't build, like a 200-foot tower, and he can just throw rocks at them from the, through the window from the ballroom or the roof of the ballroom, which he'll probably wander onto at some point because of his dementia. Anyway, this is what happens with Donald Trump, right? As a malignant narcissist and a sociopath, these are reactions that are so easy to predict. I even made a matrix at the back of the book so you too can follow along anytime something like this happens, because Donald Trump is entirely predictable. Anyway, as I said, if you want to truly understand exactly what's going on, get the electronic version of the book for less than the price of a cup of coffee. Get the paperback for roughly $10. I think it's a bit easier to follow because all the references at the back are just easier to understand. You'll become a Trump whisperer. You can exactly see what's going on and where it could end up. Most importantly, you too will be on the right side of history.